Hello and welcome in to another pregame live. We've made it. There are 2 games left, so I only have 2 more of these to do. New York Jets, Thursday Night Football against the Cleveland Browns, baby. The Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco, Trevor Siemian. Does it get any more exciting than that? Here we go. Let's hop right into this one. As Aaron Rodgers is walking in the building. I love how the first comment is, by the way, if you scroll down, where's the Trevor Siemian walk in, which is absolutely hilarious. But Aaron Rodgers walking into the building. He is not playing, as we know, on the active roster, which caused a ton of drama. And the other bit of news that we have before we get into actives and inactives, we'll keep you posted there. Alan Lazard illness is out tonight. No Alan Lazard. So Jason Brownlee show 2.0 coming off a game where he had his first career touchdown reception. Can we see another Jason Brownlee showing? Is he getting in the end zone this week? Crazy. It's going to be an interesting one. Let's say hello to everyone out there in the chat. What is going on? Dakota saying milk thumbs. Make sure to drop a like if you're coming to hang out with us. Proud NY Jet fan says, oh my God, it's Matt. Throws underwear on the stage. You are too much. You are way too much. Doug is ready to call in. We'll get to him in a second. Hope to hear Breeze for a touchdown will help my fantasy championship as well. Let's do that while we wait, because I haven't seen any. As soon as the info comes up on actives and inactives, we will share that. But why not? I'll drop the link in for calls. We can get the calls rocking and rolling. We might as well. I want to hear from you guys. Click the link, join the show, come say hello, and we'll celebrate some New York Jets versus Cleveland Browns. Who doesn't love a little Jets-Browns Thursday Night Football action? Wasn't Jets-Browns in 2018 was a Thursday night game. That was the Baker Mayfield game. And then also you have the 2019 Trevor Siemian first start. All right, we got a couple calls to start. We're going to go to Connor first. Connor, what's going on, my man? How are you?
Hey, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing good. What are you thinking for this game tonight, my friend?
I'm hoping for a Jets win, but I think we're lucky if we score 10 points.
I'm with you there, which is really unfortunate. Like, I don't want to go into a game and be like, this team will be lucky to score 10, but it feels that way. I'm kind of at whichever one of these teams gets to 16 points, I think wins the game. I think it's going to be an incredibly low scoring game tonight.
I totally agree with you. I think Sauce gets his first interception tonight. I think Tremaine Johnson gets another sack. I hope Bryce Huff can get one tonight. I think Brownlee has a good game. I think Xavier Gibson has a good game. I want to see the young guys show out tonight.
I'm with you. I think that would be the biggest thing that I'm watching for. I don't know how you feel or where you stand on the whole win versus loss debate, but for me, like, I'm not really as invested in that as I am. Like, I just want to see some of these young guys who are going to be here and what they have going into next year.
I want to win these 2 games.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I could appreciate that. So, any final thoughts for this one, Connor?
I think the Jets, I hope they win, but we're lucky if we score 10 points. And guys, tomorrow morning on NY Flight Jets Talk 10:30, Boy Green and I live will be breaking down the biggest takeaways from Jets Browns.
I love it. Yes, let them know. NY Flight Jets Talk. Make sure to subscribe to Connor. Just getting the YouTube channel started. I'm gonna
just at 70 subscribers.
70 subs. Look at that. See, we're getting started already. Love that for you. Make sure to follow along with Connor. Connor, I appreciate your stuff. We'll talk soon. All right.
Yep. See you soon. Thank you, Matt.
Enjoy, Connor. There we go. Let's go to Doug, who guess where he is. He is back on the couch. Doug, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I hope you're happy to see me back on the couch. I think I got to start a YouTube. I think I got to start a YouTube Doug from the couch.
I think you have to. You're one of the cast of characters now, and this is your brand that you've chosen. So
on you and Jake, I have to stay on the couch.
I love it.
I move out of this apartment, but then I'll just be on the movie. That's for a different time. Honest, do you care if I curse?
No, go for it.
I don't give a shit what happens tonight. You know, I saw you. You said it like when in the Texans game, when you go numb, that's when good things happen. You had feelings for the Dolphins game, so it's all your fault.
It was.
It
I
really-
bought back in. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go numb into the rest of these games. And then, like a fool, I was like, well, we're kind of still alive, and maybe Aaron Rodgers could come back. So I'm gonna get buy back in.
When we have people to look on to why these games don't matter, we gotta blame Matt O'Leary. Duh.
Yes.
I got it. No, yeah, I don't give a shit. I just hope it's not like an ugly game. Well, it's gonna be ugly. I hope it's a watchable game, I guess. Like it's not like in the fourth quarter, it's like, okay, why did I just waste my Thursday night?
Yeah, I hate to say it. I really think we're gonna be in for an ugly one tonight.
I mean, but what I mean by that, like I don't want to be in the fourth quarter and there's just like I just think there's no chance of anything good for us happening. Like,
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to be like the Miami game.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. But I just don't have any faith in. I know Flacco's went over 300 the last 3 weeks, but I don't think he's gonna move the ball all that well against this defense.
And like I get why the media was trying to make it a story of Flacco bringing back, but also 29 or 30 other teams didn't call him. So it's not like, oh, the Jets were the only one who didn't call him. And if people think what Joe Flacco would be doing what he's doing now behind our O line, he might be dead.
Yeah, I mean, did they not watch the last game of the year against Miami when he looked like so disinterested? He wanted no part of being here.
We'll always have the game, ironically, against the Browns. We'll always have that game, and like I'm not mad at Joe. I think Joe Flacco gets it too. He's like, yeah, no, I get it. They brought in Rodgers. They don't. I don't think there's like any animosity.
No,
there's
totally a media-driven story.
The media just trying to stir shit up for a Thursday night game that doesn't have a lot of buzz anymore because of the Jets season.
No.
I've been trying in Madden to make it go work, but that still doesn't work. Life just hates the Jets. It just does.
It feels that way, but at least, I mean, positive spin. If you like defense, 2 elite level defenses going against.
No, it's going to be a great defensive game. Would you rather have the Islanders? Would you rather have the Islanders missing the playoffs the next 2 years, meaning the Jets win a Super Bowl in the next 5, or the Jets continue missing the playoffs and the Islanders win a cup in the next 5 years?
Man, that's really tough. I would take the Islanders missing the playoffs and the Jets winning a Super Bowl in the next 5 because at least like I've seen the Islanders in the playoffs a lot recently. You know what I mean?
Like me as a Rangers fan, it's like they're also the best team in hockey right now. Not to brag, but
no, they've been great.
Yeah. So, but like if the Rangers don't make the cup. Like I obviously want them to win a cup. It's different as a Rangers fan, but like if they don't make the playoffs, I'm also a Yankees fan, so I have that too. But it's like the Jets. It's like I would kill a small animal that doesn't belong to anybody for the Jets to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, and it's different, right? Like especially for this team that's been so starved, the longest streak of missing the playoffs in any of the 4 major sports. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy about. I would, but I would take that to your sacrifice.
Yeah. So it's gonna be an interesting offseason. I asked this to Jake earlier today. Out of the 3 free agent receivers, because I don't want to add Devontae Adams because you get to trade for him. Sure. If they become free agents, how would you rank them in order to sign them? Mike Evans, Pittman, and T. Higgins.
I'd probably go Evans, T. Higgins, and Pittman 3.
I personally, I think I'd go T. Higgins 1, Pittman 2, and Evans 3. It's not because Evans isn't good. It's just the age side of things.
That's fair.
The other 2 are younger, and then you can give them like I saw Buffalo Jets fans at 4 for $80 for T. Higgins. I think that would be like the perfect type of deal to get. Or you do the same thing for Pittman. I'm fine with that for those 2.
Oh, totally. And I'd be more than okay with any of those 3 receivers. They're all quality 1B options to Garrett Wilson.
And I feel like it's, beating a dead horse, but this is the most important offseason in Jets history.
So, for the how many year in a row now?
Who knows? Probably next summer, next offseason, we're like, this is the most important offseason in Jets history. Because who knows? Probably somehow the whole team, we're going to have a Marshall situation somehow, God forbid, but
I hope
not. Like just anything that bad. It's like what's it called? Schrodinger's cat. You don't open the box. Good. You don't know what happens, but you do open the box. Like oh boom. The cat's dead. We always get the dead cat.
Unfortunately, it seems that way. So, do you have a score prediction for tonight before we go?
2-0.
2-0. All right. So safety. That's it. It's a defensive showdown.
Who with 2-0.
I got one more for you before I let you go. I said an over under on combined turnovers for
your tweet 5.5. I would the half gives me, because if you said it at 5, I'd give it a push. So I think I'm gonna go in under, but like the hook is what gets me.
The hook gets you every. I think we see. I think Simeon probably throws 2 picks and has a fumble. And if
I think Flacco throws 3 picks, and then it's like Simeon has a fumble and a pick, so something like that. So that's why the 6 is what gets me. If you give me 5, I'm calling it a push.
Okay, maybe we'll alternate line 5+ turnovers.
Yeah, so 5+ turnovers. I take that and then I take the push.
There we go.
Push is a win push is a tie. Push is a better than a loss, though.
That amen, brother. Doug, thank you so much for calling in. Enjoy the game tonight, my friend.
No promises.
I love it. Thank you too, Doug. We got the tweet so we could go over. Oh no, I'm sorry, not inactives and actives. We got Joe Flacco. Here we go. This is what we'll show now. We got Joe Flacco and Quinnen Williams hugging it out on midfield. Who needs to see actives versus inactives when we could see Joe Flacco dapping up his former teammates? He looks thin. Not that he was like heavy with the Jets, but does he not look extremely thin in the face? Is he on Ozempic? Is Joe Flacco on Ozempic? I want to start that rumor/trend going because our guy's looking pretty thin. Who kicks him? You guys noticed that? Who comes up and kicks him? Oh, someone slapped him on the ass. I can't see who it was behind, but that's funny. I can't believe the Jets posted that up. Oh, boy. All right, let's get back into some of these comments here. Edwardson says he'd want he'd take the Islanders win the cup option instead. There we go. JE would put T. Higgins 1 because of his age, 25. I would love T. Higgins, by the way. I want to make it clear. I would not be upset with any of those 3 options that he listed off, or Devontae for the right price. I'm not giving up a first-round pick for Devontae, but I don't think that's what it's going to cost if he were available via trade. We see guys who get traded for less than anyone thinks pretty much every single offseason. This happens. Well, Amari Cooper went for like a 5th-round pick, and he's been unbelievable. The Jets, when they traded for Brandon Marshall, was a 5th-round pick. We saw in the offseason, DeAndre Hopkins, remember, oh my God, he was going to be at least a 2nd. He gets cut. No one trades for him. Dalvin Cook was going to cost a mid-round pick. He gets cut. So if you're worried about Devontae Adams costing a first-round pick, I wouldn't think that's what you're doing there. Jeremy's score prediction says Browns 26, Jets 14. The tank is on. Listen, I'm not going to get bent out of shape over a win or a loss at this point. If they win the game, fine. If they lose, fine. Better draft position. I really, really don't have it in me to get all upset and come on here yelling and screaming that it was such a bad mistake that the Jets either lost a meaningless December game or won this game. Like I don't have it in me personally. Brian Bogan, what's going on, my friend? Says, what's more likely, the Jets being the Jets and win when they should lose, or the Browns being the Browns and lose when they should win? Probably the Jets winning. I would say that one, because especially like if you're just looking at this game, no necessarily like team history versus team history. This is absolutely a terrible matchup for the Jets. A quarterback who is turnover prone, holds onto the ball for too long, doesn't move well against the best defense in the league. Not great. Not great. Mike D's Life sends in a super chat. Thank you so much, Mike D, for the support. I'm so numb tonight but honestly, go Jets. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm not going to be, if the Jets are moving the ball or like a big play happens, you're not going to catch me going, Brees rattled one off for 40 yards. No, I'm going to cheer. I'm cheering for the guys. I want to see the players do well. And if they win, so be it. And if they lose, so be it. Like, again, I personally don't have it in me to get all riled up at this point in the year over a win or a loss. Jason Ratliff kind of says the same thing, man. Team go numb. That's where I'm at. Just whatever happens, and let the chips fall as they may. Okay, let's pull up the actives and inactives list. Here we go. Alan Lazard is inactive. That was a story for this game, as Lazard is out with an illness. So you have Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson inactive. So your only two quarterbacks are Rippin as the backup, Trevor Siemian as the starter. Fantastic. Jeremy Ruckert inactive, as we knew. That was another one. Carl Lawson inactive, not surprising, and Bryce Hall. So not really a ton of surprises, especially after the news with Alan Lazard. So Jason Brownlee, who got in the end zone last week, will be back out on the field against Cleveland. We'll see how much of an impact that he's, going to have or ready to have in this one. And yeah, no, Carl Lawson's another name that hasn't really played a ton, kind of just winding that one down. Anyway. Having the Jets is like watching a root canal, or watching the Jets like having a root canal. Hard to disagree. Matt, is there anything that will set you off in a bad way tonight outside of results or literally nothing? Like, I'd be upset if we see like Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall tear an ACL. Like, if we get like a bad injury in this game, that would be upsetting. But it's going to be really, really hard for me to be like, oh, they didn't challenge this 4th and inches spot. Like, well, like, it's frustrating because Robert Saleh needs to show better game management, but it kind of is what it is. I don't know if that's a bad way to look at it. That's just where I am right now. I don't have that same fire. Doesn't mean as much. And I went, this is what happened. The timeline of how things happened. Finally against Houston was like going numb. Whatever happens, happens. They win. Then I was like, okay, season's still kind of alive. Not really, but there's still an outside chance of getting Aaron Rodgers back against Washington. If you win this game against Miami, they get blown out. And then I was like, all right, I'm going right back to just whatever happens, happens. And it was fun. Yeah, here's a good point from our guy, P. Shafani. So Zach Kuntz is on the active. So Zach Kuntz making his debut. He was an interesting one in the preseason. Obviously a fan favorite due to his size, 7th round pick. Maybe just throw the ball up to him in the red zone. He's not really a blocking tight end, which is, Jeremy Ruckert's biggest strength is his blocking ability. That's not what you're getting with Zach Kuntz. He is like a really big wide receiver. But yeah, I'm excited to see if they get him in any packages. I wouldn't expect a ton out of him, but Lucas K says no Amari Cooper. Yeah, that's going to be big for this game. As Adam Schefter pulls it out, tweets it out. Amari Cooper is inactive, so that's going to make a difference. I hope that we see Sauce Gardner put Elijah Moore in his back pocket. That is something that would bother me. Actually, I take it back. Elijah Moore going off in this game and running his mouth would really bother me. So I hope the Jets, win or lose, I hope it's a quiet day for Elijah Moore in this one. Vman says, Matt, should I get this old school Puerto Rican mustache like my grandpa did? Obviously, yes, Vman. I don't even need to see the picture. I don't know if you... Oh, he did DM it to me. Hold on. Yes. He DM me the picture. I'll pull it up on the screen. Here's the picture. Here's our reference point for Vman. That looks like Vman reincarnated. There is a very big resemblance here. I say yes, go for it. I think it'd be a phenomenal look. And you should film a tutorial of how to do it with your coquito. I know that Christmas is past, but let's do it. Kuntz should have been playing the whole entire season. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, I would say to the point, once CJ Uzama went down, I would have been okay with activating Kuntz over Yeboah. Although Yeboah has some special teams value, so I kind of get why he hasn't played. But now with you out of it, and especially with Ruckert hurt, I think it makes all the sense in the world to get him in there. Jason says, Flacco and Moore are going to try to stunt. Can't let them outside of that go numb. Yep, that's basically it. I don't think I tweeted it out and I was like half joking, but it was honestly kind of true. With Joe Flacco walking out, I said 220 yards on 46 attempts loading. I don't think that he's going to go for over 300 in this game like he has the past 3 weeks. That's what we'll do. We'll pull up Joe's numbers here, how he's done over the last few weeks. If you see 42, 44, 45, 44 attempts, and he's gone, 311, 374, 368, has had multiple turnovers the last 2 weeks. I think we get like 60% completion percentage, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, something like that for Flacco today. And more, I'll say like, I don't know. Has he produced a ton recently? Elijah Moore so far, he has 579 yards so far this year. He had 2 catches for 19 yards against Houston, 2 for 17 against Chicago. I don't know. I'm going to guess somewhere in that same boat. 2 for 15 is going to be my guess. Brian says, have we discussed Jamal Adams being a healthy scratch in favor of the rookie? Sweet victory. You know what we say to that? Yikes is what we say. Yikes. Not good. Not so good, Jamal Adams. That's a real shame. It couldn't have happened to a better guy. Luke says, I kind of hope Joe goes crazy, not expecting from our offense. I don't really have any expectations for the Jets offense tonight. I don't think he will go crazy. I think the Jets would struggle more against a quarterback who can move around a little bit more. Like earlier in the year, Hurts was good at escaping. They turned him over, but Hurts was good at escaping the rush. Mahomes was able to do it. Russell Wilson was able to do it, with their legs. And with Flacco being more statuesque, I think that they could get some pressure and create turnovers against him. This is an unfortunate truth. No Tyreek, and we got blown out. Yeah, that was I don't know how they let Jalen Waddle just beat them like that, because they refuse to move Sauce around and say, we're going to put our best corner on their best receiver. And DJ Reed, he just flat out got beat. He should have had help over the top. He didn't, and it burned him. And, DJ Reed's been here 2 years. Was his first major mistake. It was the first touchdown he allowed all year. It took until week 15 for that to finally happen. It's going to happen. It's the NFL against a really, really good receiver. He got beat flat out. He did. He would admit it, but that's a fact, unfortunately. Yeah. Tyreek, man. Whew. He's nasty, but Jalen Waddle is a good one. Oh, how about this? The old school fans are going to like this one. Wrong tab. But you got Garrett Wilson and Marty Lyons catching up on the field. So bridging the gap of the generations here. Hugging it out. I like that. Garrett Wilson, honestly, he's someone who I think sooner rather than later should have a C on his chest. I think he should be a captain. I think he's incredibly, incredibly mature for his age. We know an extreme talent, right? He's assuming health. He should put up back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons playing with 7 different quarterbacks, 8 different quarterbacks, right? Flacco, Mike White, Zach Wilson, Chris Streveler, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian. Am I missing someone? Those are the 6 that I think of off the top of my head over the last 2 years. He had 1,100 yards as a rookie, and what is he at now? 8 something? But just how he carries himself, I think, is what really impresses me the most. 958 yards. I was off. He had 76 last week, so he's at 958. If he has 42 yards, he goes over 1,000 for the second year in a row. So I hope he does it this game. Spiz, what's going on? Ready for Joe Flacco, 300 plus and 4 tutties? I don't think he's going to do that. I know we just had his numbers up a minute ago. we share this tab and switch over here. He's gone for 303 straight. He's had turnovers, multiple turnovers in the last two. I think he's going to be around 220 to 250. And I think he's turning it over once or twice today. 16-6 final Browns. That's my prediction for today. Kiki says, I need Brees 159 yards and 2 touchdowns for my fantasy team. Also, Garrett to hit 1K too. Nice. Who else is? So I am in 2 fantasy leagues, and I am proud to say that I am in the final in both of my leagues. I think I have a better shot in I have a Yahoo and an ESPN. I think I have a better shot in the Yahoo league. I'm 8-6 going into that game. And I am, do we have a record now? I guess 7-7 technically was my record going into the postseason, but won my last 2 matchups and found myself in the championship round. So we'll see. Hopefully it goes well. Mike D's Life, thanks again. Thoughts on Alexander's with the Packers and the captains thing? Hilarious. Yeah. So if you missed it, Jair Alexander was not listed as one of the 3 captains, but since they were in his hometown, he went out for the coin toss, called the coin toss and almost messed it up. He almost blew it. Instead of saying defer, he was like, we want to be on defense. They're like, you want to defer? And he's like, yeah, that. So thank God the referee was like, wait, hold on. Is this, what is it that you actually want to do here? Because that could have got ugly. The Packers were like, we're going to suspend you. Actually, it was actually incredibly hilarious. Dakota says, Greg the Leg is a go for tonight. I'm happy about that. Amari Cooper is inactive. Gotta love it. Greg the Leg sticking it out. Jets just tweeted out a video, another one of, wrong tab. Garrett Wilson walking out to the field. Here's the guy who scored a lot of touchdowns in Ohio. Obviously went to Ohio State. But if you remember last year, Garrett Wilson's coming out party in that second game of the year was unbelievable. Caught the game-winning touchdown pass. Had 8 catches for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was welcome to the show, Garrett Wilson. Unfortunately, would only have 2 more touchdowns in the final 15 games after that. Just god-awful quarterback play. But 1,100 yards on 83 catches in his rookie season. Right now, with 2 games to go, he is sitting at 958 yards on 88 catches. He has a chance to hit 100 catches on the year. He probably should, right? You think he gets 12 balls in the next 2 games? I think so. I definitely think so. What do you have last week? 6? No, 9. 9, 3, and 9. So I'm going to say he probably gets about 6 or 7 in this game and then needs about 5 or 6 in the final week of the year to reach that number. I think he goes for, I'll say 55 yards today. So he just goes over, which would be nice. Garrett's best games had Flacco throwing him the ball. Honestly, that's the truth. If you want to look at his 2022 game logs, it happened twice. The second game of the year where he went 8 for 102 and 2 touchdowns, 6 for 60, 4 for 52, and a game that he really didn't start either. But then the last game of the year, 9 for 89 also. The big one against Minnesota was the Mike White game, 8 for 162. That's insane. What a day he had. But there was a stretch, man, from that first New England game, 115, 92, 12, gross, but 95 and 2 touchdowns, 162, 78, 98. And then Zach comes back, so it's 30. And then Mike White plays injured, 18. And then last game of the year, 89. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. But just pepper him the ball. Can you have a repeat game plan in that department, at least for the Jets, where it's the Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson show? Because that's really all I care about for this one. Yeah, Jets media tweets this out, and I agree with him. By the way, if you guys don't know, which I think you all should, but On Thursdays, myself, Richie, Jets Talk 24/7. Usually Jake Asman as well, although he was working for ESPN, so he wasn't on today. But the four of us are on the AFC East Roundtable channel. We do a Jets Roundtable Thursdays at 1 p.m. So I was on with Richie earlier today, but he says he was really looking forward to Sauce Gardner versus Amari Cooper matchup. I agree. That's one that I was really hoping to see. But now he gets to shut down former friend Elijah Moore. Harlan says that he hopes Greg Zuerlein could kick a few field goals. I think that's the only points the Jets are scoring. I think they score 6 and they have two field goals. That's going to be my prediction. Dakota says Pop-Tart Bowl. The Pop-Tart just flipped the coin. The Pop-Tart mascot. Oh my God. Bowl season is crazy. That's a wild one. Gotta love it. Gotta love that. Yeah, so as Jet Nation points out here on Twitter, sorry, I'm going to minimize you, Dakota. Elijah Moore is now Cleveland's wide receiver 1 tonight. Are you nervous? I put in, so I should pull this up and talk about it because it's fun. But also, hopefully you guys got in on my underdog picks from last week because we cashed. So I'm going a little bit aggressive this week with 2 scorchers. So if you see on underdog, the pepper guy next to the name, that means it's a scorcher, which you get better odds on. So 10 to win 157.50. Bryce Huff to record higher than a half a sack. So Bryce Huff, getting a sack. Elijah Moore under 32.5 yards. And Trevor Siemian to lose a fumble. If those 3 things hit, we're turning 10 to 157.50. If you want to fade it, you could do that as well. I linked it in the tweet. It's linked in the description of this video. It's a lot of fun. They're doing 100% match deposit bonuses. And if you sign up, 1, it's fun. You can win some money. And 2, it helps support me and the channel. So if you're interested in helping out, you might as well. Harlan is back, says, hope Huff gets a few sacks. That would be nice. He's 2 away from 10. I would really, really, really want to see Bryce Huff get up to a double-digit sack season. And I know that they have many needs, right, especially on the offensive side of the ball, but I think they desperately need to bring him back. To me, there's no reason that they don't bring him back. So Justin says put Sauce on Njoku. And Njoku's been unbelievable the last few games, especially, playing with former friend of the show, Joe Flacco. Here, let's take a look at his numbers over the last few games. He's had 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. 6 for 91 and 2 touchdowns. 10 for 104 and a touchdown. 6 for 44 and a touchdown. So should be good. It should be a fun matchup. I hope we get to see him play against Njoku. We saw, if you guys remember, in Sauce's first ever game, he covered Mark Andrews a little bit and had a really nice pass deflection against Andrews. So it's not something uncommon that they haven't done before. So I would absolutely be open to doing something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. My guys over at Broadway Jets, make sure to follow along with them if you haven't already. NYJ Matt, NYJ Mike. He goes, #TeamNum. It is the best way to watch Jets football right now. And I'm not going to personally, if you want to root for wins, that's fine. I don't hold that against you. I think you have every right to. And if you want to root for a loss and say, I want the better draft pick, you have every right to do that as well. That's great. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you how to fan. Me personally, I think the best way that I can do it for myself personally, again, just for me and for my mental state and just everything with this team, going into it numb and not getting too overblown one way or the other. I'm rooting for individuals in this game. I want to see the young guys play well, which is exactly what happened the last go around against Washington. You had a great Garrett Wilson game. You had a great Breece Hall game. Jermaine Johnson played well. This young core who is going to be here next year, won you that game. And if they blew it at the end, would I have been upset that they lost a game that they were leading by 20 points? Absolutely. But then I would have been I would have hopped the other side of the fence and said, well, they're helping their draft cause, and you still got a good performance out of these young guys who are going to be here. Sure, it doesn't make you feel confident in the coaches, which is not ideal, as we know, but just kind of going to go into this game, and whatever happens, happens. And hopefully some of these Jet guys are playing well. Gregory fan number 1 says, should the Jets re-sign Huff? Absolutely. I would extend him. You don't let homegrown pass rushers entering their prime walk. I know he's never going to be someone who plays 80% of snaps on defense. That's not his game. We've seen his snap count go up. He's going to live around 50%, which is more than fine with how the Jets rotate. And he's more than likely, I think anyway, more than likely going to put up 10 sacks this year as a rotational piece. His pressure percentage is second in the NFL among qualified edge rushers. The only one in front of him is Micah Parsons. I'm not saying he's, going to get paid $25 million a year. He's going to get paid probably $15 million AAV would be my guess. And, that doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to be a $15 million cap hit. You can structure it so that it's a lower cap hit in the first year. And as the cap continues to rise and things change, it gets a little bit higher as the years goes on, but absolutely re-sign Huff. SG31 Black, what's going on? He's a member of the channel. If you want to be a member of the channel, you can hit the join button down below. I really appreciate it if you guys join and support. It's a nice way to show your support. Get some emojis in the chat. Get a little logo next to your name when you're hanging out. Peter in the beautiful Hudson Valley says, hot take, Sauce pick while covering more. Sign me up for that. 5+ sacks by the D-line. Gibson punt return touchdown. Those are obvious. They're hot takes for the chances of them happening, but for a hot take, I think that is a reasonable guess. And I think because Joe Flacco is going to turn the ball over. I would expect him to have multiple, I'll say 2 turnovers for Flacco tonight. And Sauce is beyond due for 1. 5+ sacks. We've seen them get 5+ sacks before. You have a quarterback who's not very mobile in Flacco. I get it. Their offensive line's been better. I want to see how many sacks he's taken in these games since he's taken over as their starter. He's had no sacks last week, 4 against Chicago, 1 against Jacksonville, and 2 against the Rams. I think 5 is a high number, but not outrageous. If I was predicting, my prediction would be 4, so not off by much. Gibson punt return. They're going to need a special team score if they want to win this game, I think. Dano says, wait, are you taking guests? Yeah, if you want to join the show, there's a pinned comment. You could hit the link in the pinned comment to join. We'll pop people in here. We're going to be on for about another 15 minutes or so. We're just hanging out before this game. I'll be on with Green Bean and Ryan and Jeremy at halftime for this one. Make sure to check out Green Bean's channel for that. He's live throughout the entirety of the game. And I will be joining at halftime to give our thoughts and analysis. Rico says, hey, Matt, is it better to outright re-sign Huff or to put a 1st or 2nd round tender on him and let the market decide the value of his contract? I personally would just extend him. I'm not necessarily looking to move off him for a 1st or 2nd round pick. I get it. There are other needs adding on the offense. I've gotten all those ones before, those comments and the pushback for the Jets, needing to do that or should do that. I don't know. I think the pass rush is important, and I would just re-sign him personally. Pino says, O'Leary, no Irish River Dance tonight. No River Dance tonight. We're not getting too high, not getting too low. We're kind of just going to hang here and keep it light. Keep it light and fun. That's the plan for me on this one. We'll see if that changes. It wouldn't be the first time that that changes here, but Scott V says Trevor Siemian ankle revenge game. I hope that's what we see. We're going to go back to the line. We got the legend himself, Vman calling. Vman, what is going on, my friend? How are you?
Oh, what's up? How you doing?
I am doing good. I see you have your guitar. Are you playing us a song?
No, it's not a guitar. It's not a guitar. This is the Puerto Rican Quattro. I just got it for Christmas.
That is epic, V-Man.
I know, and someone's gonna say, "Why is it called Quattro if there's 10 strings?" I know someone's gonna say that.
What's the reason? We need the history now behind it.
Well, it's 10. It's 5 double sets, and it used to be 4 double sets. They just added a 5th one for more sound.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just looking forward to this game. Unfortunately, I got to go to work, so I'll only be able to watch about maybe a early part of the game.
You're on the graveyard tonight, V-Man?
Yeah. You know, I would watch it, but I don't have a Prime account. The only Prime account I have is my uncle's, and it's not on my phone.
All right. So you're going to have to follow.
And you know, I can't get the password because I don't have a Ouija board.
Okay. That's tough. That's tough. But you know, you at least see a little bit of this one. We need some good V-Man juju at least in the first quarter or something.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Honestly, I'm looking forward to this game. You know, look. Honestly, I know some people feel it's like, what's the point? And I agree with what you said. Don't want Elijah Moore to cook on this game. I agree with you completely. Don't want to see that. You know, I laughed a little when I saw the Jamal Adams news. It would be more fun, you know, if Seattle didn't get the haul they did from the Russell Wilson trade, which, you know, I guess it kind of numbs the pain of that, so it compensates that for them. So, you know, it's not as fun if they didn't have that trade and they were just terrible and they didn't have the extra picks. They didn't get the talent they got from that trade, but still, it's fun watching the guy who threw a hissy fit to get himself off the jet ultimately just fall into obscurity.
It is. We have some good news by Junio, by the way. The game's on Twitch also, so if you go on your phone and go on Twitch, you can find it there if you wanted to.
I'm also just not used to playing double sets, so like my calluses aren't like built for this yet.
V-Man, thank you for checking in as always. Before I let you go, final score prediction. Give me that before we go.
Some reason I just feel the Jets are somehow going to win this game because, like I said, this would be on brand. The Jets, when people don't want them to win, they're going to start winning. And you know, so I do feel like it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think any of the teams are going to get over 20, so I'm going to go 19-14.
There we go. I love it. V-Man, try to have a good time at work tonight, okay?
All right.
There he is. There he goes. V-Man checking in with us before he heads in for the night shift. Things you just absolutely love to see. Love seeing V-Man come in and hang with us. The game, I think locally, Harlan might be right. I think the game is on Fox locally, which is a plus. I would rather watch it on that than on Prime because I'm always behind. I don't like streaming games. I'm very, not to be old man yells at cloud, but I'm going to be pro cable television for a little bit here with sports and covering live sports and just watching live sports. I hate getting the notification before something actually happens. So I'm taking it. J-Boy's hanging with us. J-Boy, what's going on? Just hanging out. We got about another 10 minutes or so hanging on this live before Jets Browns Thursday Night Football. Joe Flacco, Trevor Siemian get the juices going. Vino says, I got the silly streaming box from Uncle Bobby. It probably fell off the back of a truck. I get all the TSN games from Canada. There you go. Look at that. Love that. Yeah, there's options. I don't like to say on air because you never know who's listening or monitoring these things. But in the chat, if you want to drop in the chat for where V-Man can go to watch these games, there are Eastern streams where you can find. Here's my hint. Jason's a cord cutter, stream everything. I don't know how you do it. I don't like being on a delay personally. Mike, these are prime for me, or maybe use the fire stick. There you go. That's the move. We got a fantastic picture that the Jets tweeted out that I'll pull up on the screen. It was almost like the video that they tweeted before. We got wrong tab, my bad. Quinnen Williams sneaking up on old buddy Joe Flacco. And this is going to happen in game. This is the face that Joe Flacco is going to see right before he's pile drives right into the ground. Big Q, good to eat tonight. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Kiki says, could you imagine Jets beat Patriots and that's Bill's last game as head coach there? That's on the table. I don't think he is back next year. I do think there's a world where this is the end of the line for our guy, Bill Belichick up there. So sending him out with a loss in a lost season, I'm good with that. I think I would like to end the streak against the Patriots against Bill Belichick. Like, would it hit the same if he's not there next year? I don't know. I'm down for that. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm down for that. J Boy with a super chat. F the draft. Get this W. JETS. Jets. Again, if they lose, so be it. If they win, so be it. I'm not going to be adamant of being like, yeah, they got to win. If they don't win, I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to come on in my post-game recap and yell and scream about, like, I'm not there. Personally, I'm just not there for that. I understand people rooting for wins. I get it. I was on, as I mentioned, I was on with Richie earlier today, and he was like, there's only 17 games a year. I only get 17 football Sundays, or today football Thursdays. I want to root for my team to win. And I'm like, I get it. This time I totally understand that. And for me, the only time where I was like really, really actually wanted them to lose was 2020 with Gase, because you knew Gase was gone. You knew they needed they were going to go quarterback. So I would have loved to, like, I like Robert Saleh. I'm not sold he's a great coach, but he's at least a nice person. Adam Gase isn't a nice person. Adam Gase and Greg Williams were two very easy people to root against. And same with Frank Gore going up the A gap a million times. Like, that was not a enjoyable Jets team. There's a lot of enjoyable people and personalities on this team, and I feel for them, where I don't have that same sympathy for the 2020 Jets. So I do think it's a little bit different. Where will Bill Belichick be coaching next season? I'm going to say Los Angeles Chargers. Connor's currently putting together a surgical parlay. Connor, drop it in the chat if you get it done within the next 10 minutes or so. Jorge says, F the Pats, F Bill, we are winning, and the streak, 15 straight L's is effing enough. Amen. Absolutely. It is way, 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 way too high. Way too high. Hate to see that. Just absolutely terrible. It would be nice. It would be nice to see him go out with a loss. Commanders is a good one too, Jason. Also, like, not that this is a great spot, but Carolina. So Carolina has a owner who is willing to throw around a crap ton of money. And again, I would put for sure the Chargers and the Commanders ahead of the Panthers in likelihood of that happening. But if Bill really cares more about getting a bag and getting a big payday, I think they have an owner who could do it. SG31 says, I want to see Coach Saleh coach and motivate on the sideline. Yeah, I would hope to see we get that energy, and I hope they're aggressive tonight. I really do. I don't want to see a conservative Saleh. Be aggressive. Go for it on fourth downs. Take some shots down the field. If you can keep your quarterback upright, feed Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. That's my game plan for this one. Let's go out to, we got our guy Dano calling in now. Let's go out to Dano. What's going on? How are you, man?
Hey, not bad, Matt. How you doing? Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too. Glad to put a face to the name in the chat. I love it.
Yeah, so this one is real close to me. I'm right outside Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Little extra intrigue for me. Plus I took the day off PTO way back thinking I might go to this game, but things changed and whatnot.
I don't blame you for not going to this one.
Yeah, no. Maybe next year, because the way things are lining up, we might play at Pittsburgh. So I'd really like to see that game. But yeah, I'm tired of the local Steeler fans. They're so spoiled with perennial winners that just give me one really good one so that I can stick it in their craw.
I don't get
but
why.
Tonight, honestly,
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I don't understand why Pittsburgh fans are so down on Tomlin. I feel like they all want to run him out of town.
You know what? I don't understand it either. I think they just get bored. I mean, they don't have to even look into their team as deep as we do because they just show up on Sundays and they're not going to be, embarrassed like we can be. Especially being out of market, it's tough because everybody knows me as the Jets fan. So any little, yeah, I'm paying for it. I wear it on a sleeve, and but anyways, tonight I do think we give them a game. I don't think it's one that we don't show up for like Dallas, which many think might be the case. I think it's a low scoring game. I'd like to see Izzy. I've heard people say that. I do want to see him. I hope is he active for sure yet?
Yes, he is activated. Same with Will McDonald. Those are two guys that I'm keeping my eye on tonight.
Okay. The only thing that worries me, I think Cooper is held in check. The only thing I worry about is Njoku.
So Amari Cooper's inactive today. Adam Schefter tweeted it out. Cooper is not going to play today. So that's Elijah Moore, wide receiver 1, and David Njoku obviously are the two targets that I would keep my eye on.
And Ford probably a lot out of the backfield. Yeah, I didn't hear that. Good call on that. Njoku though, no joke.
He's been great.
I think he got what
with Flacco. Yeah. I think it's 4 touchdowns in these 4 games that they played together. They've been unbelievable.
I know it was 2-1-1 in his last 3, but his targets are through the roof. So I feel like if Cooper's out, he's going to absorb some of them. Not saying we can't, I'm just saying maybe the defense should have a plan to attack the middle of the field now, because more is more. We'll see. But long story short, Zerline good?
Yeah, Zerline's active. He's going to kick. So that's a major win there too.
Okay. Hey, just dump it down to Brees. Check it down to Garrett. You don't got to test the middle of the field. We can dink and dunk down the field, beat them 13-7, something like that, And I hope we do.
Yeah. I was going to say, before we let you go, do you have a final score prediction for this one?
Yeah, I do think we win by a touchdown or less.
Okay.
I think I'm in the minority, but I don't think it's a barn burner. I don't think it hits the over.
No,
but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it's down to 34.5 now.
Yeah, when I saw earlier today, it was a few hours ago, so I don't know if it moved, but 34 was the number I saw.
I could see both teams together though, combining for 10 sacks, and I could also see both QBs not finishing the game. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's going to be a defensive battle, and I think first team to 16 points wins tonight. That's my prediction for you. Love it.
Matt, love watching you. I comment a lot. I don't get on here much, though. I get a little nervous, but I like this format where it's just chopping it up, and appreciate you.
Absolutely. Dane, thank you so much for calling in and checking in with us, and hope you enjoy the game tonight. Love it. Thank you to Dane for calling in there and hanging out with us on this lovely Thursday night. We got a couple of Jet fans in attendance. This is cool. I want to pull this up. We got some Jet fans. Quincy, a little sign saying Quincy for first team All-Pro. Obviously, he had to go out. He gave him an autograph there. Give him a nice point. That's awesome. That's really cool to see. A Quincy first team All-Pro sign in Cleveland. Respect. Ton of respect in the world for that kid. And hopefully they get to see a good game, right? Like that's all you can really hope for at this point. Peter says, hey, at least it should be the same starting five on the offensive line for 2 straight weeks. That they're allowed to do that? Well, this is the first time in how many weeks that's happened. And by the way, something that flew a little bit under the radar, or at least under the radar for me, officially to get Dwayne Brown back on IR. So a nice 2 games from Dwayne Brown in 2023. The Jets' plan A at left tackle gave you 2 games. Fantastic. Yeah, and for Njoku, he said, dude, play with 3rd-degree burns on his forehead and face earlier this season. The guy's a monster. He really is. He's unbelievable. I like him a lot. We got update on the line. The Jets +7, so 7-point spread, and 33.5 the line. That's a low number, but I would take the under. I've predicted 16-6 all week. I'm going to stick with that. I don't think either team gets to 20. And even if you do, I still think the under calls in. And I get it. That's a low number, but these primetime games normally play to the unders. Unders normally do pretty well in primetime and on Thursday nights. So again, I get it. It is a low number, but I still like it. Matt says the Jets could have been like the Browns if they kept their draft picks and passed on. Jesus Christ. With which quarterback? Kept their picks? And who's playing back there? You know, Zach's not getting them 10 wins. I don't buy it. Bino says this game's going to be another 4-hour one. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I hope not. I would rather it be, kind of get this thing over with, get it out of the way. 3 to 3 hours, 15 minutes. All right. Last one. We're going to close out with Connor and his parlay. Trevor Siemian, +1 pass interception. Siemian over 170.5 passing yards. Garrett Wilson over 51.5 receiving yards. Conklin over 27.5 receiving yards. Oh, there's more. Oh my God. This is a mega parlay. Hall over 31.5 receiving yards. Hall over 4.5 receptions. Garrett Wilson over 5.5. Hall over 45.5. JJ sack, Huff sack. Garrett Wilson. Excuse me, not Garrett Wilson. Myles Garrett, 1+ sack. Ford +1 touchdown. Ford 51+ rushing yards. The odds on that are a whopping plus 244,800. So that is for those, if you don't gamble or don't know how the odds work, here you go. With those odds from Connor, that is bet 100, win $244,800 if all those things happen. So it's a long shot. If you want to put that in, I would recommend a very, 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 very small fraction of whatever your unit is. That's a 0.1 play. So if you play $100 units, throw a 10 spot on that, something like that. And we got one more super chat before we go. Good luck, Jets. Hope you had a good holiday, Matt. Thank you. I did. I had a great holiday. I had a great Christmas, Jacob, and I'm going away for New Year's. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going upstate. So we'll have some fun this weekend upstate. Hopefully you guys enjoy the game. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in this pregame. That's going to do it. My reaction coming up after the game. I'll be on with Green Bean at the half. Talk to you guys soon. Go Jets.